in our Highland herd, or fold it's known as in Highlands. We've got 4 calves, 2 heifers and 2 steers, so 2 females and 2 males. And you can see the calves are absolutely gorgeous. They're probably one of my favourite calves because they're born so fluffy with all this hair to keep them nice and warm, because of course they come from the Scottish Highlands. There's one over here which is the last one to be born, which is just a few weeks old. It's just fast asleep in the grass. Absolutely gorgeous. This is just lying there dreaming. Oh look, she's just heard me and woken up. It's got a gorgeous coloured face, this one. The Highlands come various colours. So they come very red and blonde and white, right through to a sort of dun chocolatey colour, and then black. And our Highland bull over here, Prince, is black. And you can see this one has got some of those sort of blackish markings, but will probably turn out red when she's older. Let's go and see the mums. The Highland is quite a small cow, very tough, very hardy, probably one of the hardiest breeds in the country that can survive up on the Scottish Highlands. Famous for these beautiful wide swept horns and this thick coat and a lovely hairy forehead. This is a young cow. She's just a heifer, so she's a first-time calver with a little calf just lying over there. And then some of the older cows are over here. Here we go. There's a good girl. Let's give her a bit of breakfast. All the sheep are flying over too. A bit nervous, that one. Go on, missus, don't be nervous. There's a good girl. The Highlands are wonderful mothers, so I always carry a stick when I'm in with cows and calves or in with a bull. Really is an extension to my arm, so I can just tap them and just keep them away from me, because you never know with cattle whether they might just turn on you because they've got their calves. Of course, we're in with ours all the time, and we've got the general public looking on as well, so they're very used to people. This is Black Prince, and he is a magnificent fella. He's now about 5 years old. I've had him from about 18 months old, and he's very, very quiet, docile, placid, with this black hair. He probably weighs somewhere in the region of 650, 700 kilos. And so when it comes to bulls, that may sound very heavy, but if you looked at some of the continental breeds, a Charolais or a Limousin or a Simmental, they'll go up over a ton. He's just having a scratch now. Amazingly dexterous, where they can pull their heads right round and lick themselves with their long tongues. And they know exactly where the end of their horns are. When they're walking through a gateway or somewhere narrow, they'll turn their horns to get through a narrow space. Here we are, got a bit of grub, mate. Prince here has won shows when he was a younger bull at the Royal Three Counties show. And what you're looking for in any good livestock, particularly breeding animals, of course, with a male, with the bulls, half of his genetic goes into all of the calves. So you need to be able to pass on those very, very good traits. So they like a nice flat back, nice and broad on the shoulder and on the hips, with 4 legs on 4 corners. So they don't want to be in at the front or twisted out or splayed with their toes. Nice straight legs on all 4 legs with a nice flat back, a smart head. So on a cow, you can see her horns twist and sweep outwards. With a bull, they come more straight out from his head and then go forwards. And the level of the horns should be just above the level of his eye. And a very good coat for a Highland. Of course, they're bred for their hardiness. They've got thick skin, but also this amazing hair on them. At the moment, he's got his summer coat on. All this winter hair has pretty much fallen out. But in the middle of January, when he's living outside and it's snowing, he'll have a thick coat and he'll just stand against the weather and feel perfectly fine. Highland breeders are up and down the country now, all over the UK, and good ones are worth quite a lot of money. So a good cow like this you'd pick up for £1,800 to £2,000. A very good Highland bull can go from anything from £2,500 to £10,500, depending on the quality. And at shows, which are happening right up and down the country now, if you win a rosette and you know that you've got the best in the breed, that really commands some very high prices. The famous Highland sale is up at Oban in Scotland, and that's where I bought a bull, Eric, a few years ago, which is still one of my favourites. He was a huge, great big bull, And I got him for about £2,500, which, seeing as I've only got 5 cows, was quite expensive at the time, but it seems to be the going rate for good bulls. These calves now will stay on their mums, drinking their very rich milk. The Highland produces some very good quality milk, and they'll be drinking from that. They'll also start to graze the grass, and they'll grow during the summer months, and we'll wean them at about 8 to 9 months old when they can live independently of their mums. Of course, the cows are now running with the bull, so they'll be getting pregnant again, and the gestation period from mating to birth for a cow is 9 months. Sheep are seasonal creatures, so they come into season in the autumn and they give birth in the spring when the grass starts to grow. Cattle can breed all year round, so a lot of people would have a spring or summer calving herd, or some people would calve in the autumn and then bring their cattle into the sheds. Our Highlands live outdoors all year round, and so we let them calve in the spring or early summer, and then the calves are big and strong by the time the winter comes. And they're looking great. Really, really pleased with them. Although they look like very big, docile creatures, I always carry a stick to protect myself in case they get a bit playful. And it is amazing how quickly they can jump about. Go on. It's good. Go on. Go on. Go on, Em. Go on, Prince. They plod around, but they can actually turn around on a sixpence, and they know exactly where the end of those horns are. Don't you, missus? See?